Alright, this is going to be our next notes in algebra. This is going to be solving algebraic equations. I'm going to have you do the first two lessons in 2-1, and you need to take these notes, add them to your notebook, and you can refer back to them whenever you're solving these equations. Let me know if you have any questions in class. I'll come around and help you. So a few things about solving algebraic equations, and I see you guys know how to do some of them. Maybe you're not quite having the right or the complete understanding yet, so hopefully this will help you get there. Okay, so first of all, when you're solving algebraic equations, you want to remember the rules. Okay, and I'm going to go over some of these rules here below. Make sure you add these. Ask me any questions you might have about them again. Okay, so probably the most important rule you want to remember is whatever you do on one side of an equation, you must do on the other side, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So really, we're just doing something to one side to get a variable by itself, and then if we do this same thing to the other side, we don't change it. Okay. Next one, get the variable by itself. Okay, this should be like itself together. So you should write that in your notes. So our goal is to make an equation end up with x equals something or w equals something. So we want to isolate the variable. Do whatever we have, divide, multiply, add, subtract, so we get the variable by itself, and then when we do that, we're really solving for the variable. Okay? And then undo the arithmetic to isolate the variable. So when we see 3 times x, that's multiplication, so if we want to get rid of 3x and get x by itself, we want to divide. Or if we have w plus 3 equals 17, we have w plus 3, so what we want to do is the opposite. Or we want to do a minus 3 to get that positive or adding 3 undone. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So here we have c minus 22 equals 54. So whenever we're doing this problem, we see the only thing we have to worry about to get c by itself, to isolate it, because that's really our goal. We have a minus 22, so we want to do the opposite. We want to add 22, but again, we want to do it to both sides. That way we're not changing it. But when we do that here, we cancel, because negative 22 plus 22, that cancels, and we get c, and then we just equals, and then we get here 676. So that's the answer. So you see here, it was c minus 22. We add 22 to undo this arithmetic, and then as long as we add that 22 to the other side, we then get our answer c equals 76, and we've isolated c. So we look at the other way. So it's 63 plus m equals 79. We can even rewrite this. M plus 63 equals 79. So we can easily, or maybe see a little easier, that this is a plus. So again, we're going to undo. We're going to minus 63. This is going to cancel, right? And then it's going to be m equals, we got 16. Okay? Just review again. We want to undo the arithmetic. We're adding here, so we subtract. We want to do the same thing to both sides. We get the variable by itself. We get m equals 16. Okay, look at a couple more. So here we have multiplication, right? We have 3 times x equals 25. Right? We want to undo this 3 times x, so we divide by 3. And again, we do it to both sides. And this will cancel. And this will be 25 over 3, whatever that is. We can even do the math. It goes in 8 times, 8 and 1/3, something like that. And I want to go back here. They have names for these, so if you see these, this one here where we're adding something to both sides, that's the addition property of equality. And if you go back to this one, we're subtracting something. This is called the subtraction property of equality. We're doing it to both sides, that makes it equal. And we're doing subtraction. We're doing it to both sides, that makes it an equality equal, but plus we're adding. So addition property of equality, subtraction property of equality. Same thing here. Multiplication or division property of equality, not multiplication, because we're dividing, right? And we're doing it to both sides. So then here you probably guess what we're going to do here. We have x divided by 5. So here we're just going to multiply. And I always do the 5 over 1. Okay. This cancels, right? This becomes x, and then this becomes 27 times 5, that's 35, 135. So x equals 135. Again, we're multiplying to undo the division, and we're doing it on both sides. Our last one. And again, this would be the multiplication property of equality. And then here we have 5/6 times x equals 18. Okay, this one we can do a couple different ways. I'm going to show you both. So first one we could do is we could do an inverse. Right? So we have this, and we can just do the inverse, the opposite. Right? Again, we do it to both sides. Okay. And this would cancel, right? And then we have x equals, looks like we can't do too much division here. So 48, 108 divided by 5. We'd have to then divide that in 21 and 3/5 would be our answer there with a fraction. There's another way to do it though, to get the same answer. If you're more comfortable with this. And again, this is the inverse property of equality. So then here we have, let's do the same one. 5/6x equals 18. So then if we just first start with the 6. So we do the multiplication property of equality. And that's going to cancel this. We're going to end up with 5x because the 6 cancels out, right? And then here we have 48, 108. And then we divide by 5. We undo this one step at a time. So here we did the multiplication property of equality. Here we're doing the division property of equality to undo the multiplication. This will come out to be the same answer, 108 over 5. Okay, so I think, oh, we got two more, I'm sorry. So that's kind of those. Then there's some multi-step equations where we're just taking, instead of just doing one step, we're doing several. The thing to remember about these is if you remember PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Remember we always start with parentheses and then we work our way down to addition, subtraction. When you're doing these, the best way to do it is to start the opposite. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and so on. Then do your exponents in parentheses. Okay. So with that in mind, we would do our addition, subtraction. So here we'd want a minus 4. Right? This would cancel. And that's our subtraction property of equality. Then we got negative 11 minus 4. That's negative 11 plus a negative 4. That'd be minus 15. And then we would hit divide by 3, the division property of equality, and this would cancel. We have m equals negative 5. Alright, one more. So then, and I'm going to, or after this, I'm just going to assign homework. So then we have 8 equals x minus 5 divided by 7. Okay. So here, we might start with addition, subtraction, right? But we have a 7 dividing here. So we have to kind of approach this a little bit different, because we can't really add 5 because we're also dividing by 7. So we got to here start with the 7. We're going to multiply it by 7 over 1. Okay. This is going to cancel. These cancel each other out. This is going to be 56 equals x minus 5. Then this is the x minus 5. We're going to add 5. It's going to be 61 equals x. Right? And what's really cool about algebra is then you can plug it in. Right? So if we start with our original 8 equals x minus 5 divided by 7, we can then plug our answer in. 8 equals 61 minus 5 divided by 7. Then 8 equals 61 minus 5 is 56 divided by 7. And then 8 equals 8. So we know it's right. Okay? So that's also, you can always just plug these in, right? And see if they come out to the same answer. Once you have your answer solved, that's what's really cool about algebra. Let me know if you have any questions, and then I'm going to assign homework for you, and I'll list that in class for you. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in class.